was told to cure, or was this?
I got 1:30. I set the clock earlier, and I don't know if the battery's just died or what the problem is, but we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Miss Nancy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miss Carla.
Yes, ma'am. Dear Father, we thank you for this day, God. Lord, we ask you now, God, as we go into this meeting, Father, to lead us and guide us, God. Help us, God, to make the right decisions, Father, so that we can grow our community, God, and our county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Everybody's had a chance to look over the agenda. Okay. Hold on for 1 second. We're having technical difficulties.
If I'd have been here earlier, I would have had it all set up.
Well, we have to schedule the meetings when we can schedule the meetings, and you
It's my fault.
pushing them together.
And you're recording, you're not live streaming, right? Okay.
And
So
you're
we-
live streaming, right?
Yep, as soon as it gets done doing what it's doing right here. Apparently my computer time and phone time is 2 minutes off. So now it's just now 1:30 on my computer.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And you got some AA batteries for that? Alright, cause I set it and it's still like 2 minutes behind. Yeah.
And you have Miss Bradshaw on the line, right, Miss Simmons?
I'm doing my best right now. I messed up something.
Oh, okay. She's on a NECO thing, right?
Yes.
She's in Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota. I knew it was an M state, I just didn't know which one. Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan, somewhere. We're having problems with the plug-in mic in the room. Are you plugged in? He's not.
No, I got
plugged in?
full battery. Now.
Okay.
I think it's the Wi-Fi being slow, or maybe we're all on it and everybody in the office is on it. There we go. Now we're live.
Alright, we're live, we're good.
Live.
Alright, we've had a few minutes of technical difficulty, so we've already had the call to order, we've already had the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
Just call me.
Alright, we're still having a little bit of technical difficulty on the telephone, but anyway, we're gonna work through that. I'm gonna announce the quorum. 4 of the 5 commissioners are here, and we're trying to get Mr. Key on the telephone.
Let me just call her.
Okay.
Okay.
Is she there?
Say it again. Okay.
Alright. Everyone's had time to look over the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alright, we're gonna go with the new business, which is the 2025 millage rate. Alright, process and discussion. Have at it.
In my opinion, I don't think we have the ability to roll back. We're getting another TAM note. I mean, we've been rolling back the past couple of years that I know of. I don't think we can roll back anymore and maintain even what we've got going now, much less adding the fire service or anything else to it.
So, is this 1 meal that we're adding?
We're not adding
No,
anything.
we're not adding anything.
Not
We're
yet.
Okay,
Yeah. Now we're just talking about the millage rate. We're not talking about the fire stuff right now, we're just talking about the millage rate.
Because we hadn't figured all of it out just yet.
Okay, excuse me, but I thought we were talking about the process, which is this right here. So the process is to do the advertising, advertise the 5-year history, have the meetings, depending upon whether or not we're gonna set a millage rate. So, I'm all for the process that you put here. So if this is where you're saying we'll begin the process by advertising the first and second public hearing, advertise the 5-year history, issue the press release, and then based upon what millage rate we do finally come up with, we will, in 7 days, advertise the 3 public hearings. We'll have 3 public hearings.
If we voted right now to do the rollback, we don't have to have
Correct.
the hearings, alright? If we decide to raise it, then we have to have public hearings. If we decide to stay the same and don't do the rollback, we have to have the public hearings. So, only if we don't do if we do the rollback, do we have to have the public hearings,
Okay.
alright? So, technically, the process is a little skewed on that, but we need to decide which way we're leaning to know which process we're gonna take. Cause if we decided today, boom, we're doing the rollback, then we don't have to have any hearings.
Well, I will tell you, I've got some things I wanna make sure that the public hears. Number one is, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I hate taxes. But I understand the necessity of them when used in the appropriate ways. They have been around as long as man has with a group of people to govern the masses. I mean, that started back the first time we ever had 4 or more people together and they said we gotta do things. So taxes have been here forever, they will always be here. Telfair County, specific, Telfair County. I have my history of Telfair County taxes since 2005, first time I actually started. But from 2005 to 2014, taxes increased pretty significantly. $2,000 a year in 2005, all the way to $4,200, $4,300 in 2014. That's a pretty significant increase. They stayed level from 2014 until about 2022. 2022 is when taxes started going back up. They went from 36 in 22 all the way to 43.90 in 24. So what I have done is I've drawn out this is Doug Perkins, this ain't the county, this is my personal taxes. So I understand and I am bleeding when it comes to the taxes. I get it. But at the same time, I want to look in this camera and whoever's saying it and say this, I understand that from the time I've been in Telfair County, us raising taxes, not rolling the millage rate back, will be the first time in 22 years that there will be a significant advantage to the unincorporated people. And that is indeed in starting Telfair County Fire Department and getting the people for Telfair County Fire Department on board. So in 2025, taxes will possibly go up again, depending upon what we say here. But you will see a major positive result for every dollar we spend in addition to what we spent last year. So having said all that, I want to say and agree with Mr. Cravey, I do not believe that the county, in doing what we're doing, can afford to do the rollback. And we, as part of the committee, and I handed this out before, the facts and options to what we can do to make sure that the county has the money. So I just wanted to put that out there, to let people know why that the number one person in the county that hates taxes probably the most would raise his hand and say, you're right, we can't afford to do a millage.
Madam Chair, may I finish? Thank you. So if we stay the same, how much would it hurt?
I just wanna add something on to what Doug said, and then I'll address what you said. Taxes going up does not always come off of the millage rate. Sometimes the millage rate will stay the same and your property assessment will go up. So I don't wanna put all this back on the commissioners saying, we're the reason your taxes are going up every single year, cause we're not.
That's right.
90% of the time, it's a reassessment that makes them go up due to market and sales and all kinds of comparable factors they use at the assessor's office. So just because we're talking about not rolling back the millage rate is not really us increasing taxes. But it's also, like Doug said, we're gonna increase services for the amount of taxes you're already paying with this unincorporated fire area, which, just because it says unincorporated, don't mean it's not gonna service the whole county, because they will. Wherever they're called inside Telfair County and some places out, they'll go. Just like Dodge County does up there. So it's gonna affect everybody in the county, and that's all I've really got to add to it.
All right. Chris, you will be the one to answer Ms. Paul's question, because
Right.
you're the figures guy.
And wouldn't that, just to ask Chris, wouldn't that depend on certain areas? Cause I know some areas this year on reassessments went down. So they may see that little bit of decrease they had go back up with this millage rate staying the same.
It will, because,
And-
you know, you have to look at it, the digest and the calculation of the rollback rate is taking every partial taxpayer as one group. So even if you kept the rollback rate the same, because of reassessments on some properties, their tax bill will go up even though their millage doesn't go up, and others will go down, but as a whole, the rollback rate will keep the county, the money coming into the county the same. Some people might pay more, some people might pay less. You'll always have that because of reassessments. And that's one of the major components in this. If you have a reassessment that's in a positive on any property in the county, it will require a rollback rate. That's because reassessments that go up in value. Typically that's the way they are. They don't usually reassess very much and drop. But if one property goes up, it'll require a rollback rate because now the value of the county, at least on one parcel, because they're in the computation, it's in separate columns. You have the reassessments and then you have all the other changes. New construction, people leaving the county, that kind of thing. But if you have a reassessment, it's gonna require a rollback rate to maintain the same, even though it might only be caused by one individual. If you kept to the rollback rate which is 14.493, then your taxes will actually decrease $43,668 from the prior year. Last year's tax was 15.35. And if you kept it the same, the taxes would go up. If you kept it the same across the board, incorporated and unincorporated taxes would go up $248,645.
And if you did the rollback, it would decrease by how much?
44.
43,688?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's mainly because of other changes. That's in that other change column on the PT 32-1.
So if we stay the same, we'll be at an advantage.
An advantage of $248,645.
Okay. I thought I was here, right?
But that's also gonna affect what we talked about with the unincorporated fire tax or the fire district tax, whatever you wanna call that. Cause we planned to use the insurance premium tax, which was $411 this year, pull that out of the general fund and use it for the fire services like it's intended, like McCray uses theirs for fire service. So you'll have to replace that 411 in the general fund. So that 248,
48,645.
that number will knock a dent in it. And then what we were talking about, the 1 mil in the unincorporated area, from what we had figured, that would make up the rest of it.
Well, at that point, with the 411 to make up the difference, and you take the 248, 645 back away from it, it only leaves you 162, 355 to get to the 411 back in the general budget. All right, a 1 mil would be way more than that.
You're not talking a 1 mil in the whole county, you're talking 1 mil
Right.
unincorporated, because we can't levy on city taxes.
Well, I know at one time that 500,000 was floated out as far as needing.
Rough idea.
If you went with the rate for the incorporated area the same as last year, 15.35, and you increase the unincorporated 1.25 mils, which would make it 16.6, you would increase taxes $500,748.
$500,000, how much?
$748.
And that was a 1 point what?
25
increase?
mil increase on the unincorporated only.
Okay.
So leave the incorporated at 1535,
Right,
increase the unincorporated to 16.6, which is 1.25 mil higher than the incorporated, and you'll increase taxes to the county by $500,748.
which is in essence on my fact sheet, option 2, do not roll back the millage rate, keep it at 15.35, then create an unincorporated only millage rate. I had said 1.08, it'd be 1.25.
Mhm.
That's option 2 that I put out last week in the meeting. I'm all for that. And that will affect me directly and all my constituents that I have talked to thus far that understand what they are getting for the millage rate increase are in favor of it. So they understand their taxes will go up, but they understand that they're finally seeing something for those taxes, at least the ones I have talked to.
And to put that in perspective, it might be easier sometimes to think about it, on a $100,000 parcel, a 1.25 increase will equate to about $50
Right.
in taxes. 200,000 would be a $100 increase in taxes.
What would a half a mil countywide bring you?
Countywide, $169,378.
Gotcha.
You said a while ago that 1 mil in unincorporated was $50. You talking about $50 a month? What were you talking about? Only $50 for the year?
No, I took, it would be, well,
For a $100,000 home?
in a $100,000 home, whether they're incorporated or unincorporated, I just took 40% of that would be 40,000
Okay.
times 1.25 mils is $50 a year.
So it would increase it by $50 for their taxes.
1 mil. Cause I had sent you this, and that was based upon 100,000.
Yeah, that's on the total millage,
Right.
15.35.
Right, so
if
you were looking at just 1 mil, okay.
Yeah, 1 mil. Well, actually, that is 1.25 mils, because that's what I had originally
Okay.
stated for the unincorporated.
Alright. So on the $100,000 home, 1.25 mil, and the unincorporated will basically add $50 annual to their taxes.
Correct.
I hate to keep asking you, but what about 1 mil, the whole county except for McCray Helena?
the whole county?
except for
Well, you
McCray.
can't do Scotland,
Yeah.
cause they
They do taxes.
they do taxes.
You can't delineate between cities, can you? Like, if
I
you can't,
wouldn't.
you'd have to do a special tax district or something.
Yeah, but you could do a special tax district, for the fire.
Yeah.
This is, and it goes back to what I was trying to explain the other night. I don't see where it's fair, and this is just me, and I do understand unincorporated. I do understand what y'all saying there, but I just don't see where it's fair for somebody to pay more taxes when you step outside the city limits of Jacksonville, of Lumber City, Scotland, wherever.
Yeah, but the people in those city limits pay 10 meals more.
But hold on just a second. And my thing is, we're doing it pretty much for fire coverage. Okay? The only ones that's got 24-hour fire protection right now is McCray Helena. Okay? Lumber City's got a fire department, Scotland's got a fire department, Jacksonville's got a fire department, Milan's got a fire department. Horse Creek. And Horse Creek. If they have a fire right now today, at 2 o'clock, they may not have nobody coming to them fire departments. What we can guarantee them, once we get this fire department going, is they're going to have full-time firemen coming to the cities and to the unincorporated areas. My thing is, I just wish, and I mean, I ain't got rid of no dog in that, but I just wish we could do something where all of them, you know, instead of just your unincorporated paying for that. Because, just say if we have a fire, when we get full-time, when we have a fire in Lumber City, okay? Well, we're tied up in Lumber City and we have a fire in Workmore. That's your unincorporated people that's paying this tax for that fire coverage, but we're tied up in Lumber City.
That's the same argument McCray had.
That's the kind of point that I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
That's why McCray doesn't leave the city of McCray uncovered. If they don't have anybody available, they don't go.
So, I'm sorry.
Ms. Bradshaw says the unincorporated should be taxed the same amount as the incorporated, not a cross-the-board tax. It's not fair to all citizens to be double taxed. If we leave millage the same, the unincorporated could be taxed to cover the gap. Cities already pay taxes.
That's
That's
what I.
And that makes
But-
sense
and
if we get it
And
explained.
again, cities pay taxes for the benefits of living in a city, alright? Some people want the benefits of living in a city. I personally don't. Some people who live in the city, have property in the city, they want that 2-minute access to the grocery store, 2-minute access to the doctor. Used to be 2-minute access to the hospital, but that's not the case now. But you have, 5-minute access to EMS, alright? You don't have that in the unincorporated. If you live on Dodge's Old Lake Road, which I know nobody lives on that road, but let's just say you are out on Dodge's Old Lake Road and you need an ambulance. You 30-45 minutes from an ambulance coming. If you right here in McCray, they there in 10-15 minutes. I mean, that's why the cities pay those increased taxes. They have city water, they have city sewage. You don't have to worry about a well and the ants getting in your points, and now you don't have water at 1 o'clock in the morning and you got to go find points, and no stores open at 1 o'clock in the morning that sells points, so now you got to go to work in the morning stinking because you don't have a shower. Alright? You don't have to worry about that. That's city. I mean, that's the joys of living in the city.
I agree with what Mr. Bradshaw said. And Mr. Akins, basically what you were saying about the fire department, we, with the IGAs supposedly with McCray Helena.
That's right.
With the 24-hour service, and I understand what you said, they don't leave McCray uncovered, but this last IGA should have covered that just a little bit more, especially this last year. This next year until June of next year, that McCray Helena should respond anywhere in the county
Right.
for any fire, especially until June of next year based upon IGA. After June of next year, hopefully the 24-hour in Workmore will be up, and it will be based upon mutual aid. But you're absolutely right. Jacksonville right now, we know for a fact, all their men are working outside the counties. They have a fire, they got the mayor to fire a truck somewhere. Hopefully you get some backup from somewhere.
That's right.
But I personally, like Ms. Bradshaw said, is that the citizens, and that's the reason I did this comparison, are already paying a significant higher tax rate than the unincorporated does, because of the fact that they do have, as Mr. Purvis just enumerated, the services that they want. So that is the reason I have talked and I have promoted a unincorporated only tax
Yes.
of 1.25 mils. And I believe I can sell that to anybody that can give me 5 minutes talking to them as to why. Go look on 441 at the caution light, and for the first time in 2 decades, see something happening in the county for the unincorporated people.
And that's another thing that I wanted to bring out too. There's a lot happening with the fire department that's actually going unnoticed right this minute. I mean, I've got paperwork filed here. I've got a truck getting some work done to it. And I'm hoping as soon as we get the truck back, I believe I'll have that truck checked off in a week, and we'll have a truck in Workmore and have a established Telfair County Fire Department. And my goal is to even, I've talked with Steve about putting we're gonna have 2 EMS crews here and 1 in Workmore, making 1 of them EMS crews dual certified, where they do fire and EMS. That way, if the EMS goes out, we got another backup EMS there. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, saving money. So I just want the people to understand that, yes, y'all have hired me to do it. Y'all have dug into it, and we're getting it done. They may not see a lot right this second, but I've got a lot of stuff out there that's in the works. It's all gonna come together at one time, and we're gonna roll with it.
Absolutely.
And I just want the citizens to know that I'm gonna do it as cost efficient as I can, but it takes money to do it, and they will have a fire department come,
Well,
and EMS.
If I could, I am really promoting, and I'm telling everybody that I talk to, hey, you need to talk to our fire coordinator, because he's a super fantastic guy. He's really got the best interest of Telfair County at work, and I think you're gonna see some great things over the next year
Correct.
out there.
The process.
Also, in respect to those great things that are going on out there, I do believe,
To get the
talking to Ms. Bunny this morning about the Safer grant, that is still in the air. We don't know where that's
Right.
at, but it will equal 100%. And we asked for $299,000 as an annual, and that's based upon having 5 full-time employees.
Right.
We don't have but 1 full-time employee right now, and until you get a truck and until the station's up
Right.
and running, we don't need to hire those other people.
Correct.
So we're not gonna need an entire $300,000 for the first year, right?
Correct.
I mean, so with that being said, I think we will be doing well to do, don't roll back, add 1.25 for unincorporated only. And we just need to make sure that any per se surplus, because if we do that, and we take 411 and we add 100 from the unincorporated, we now got $500,000 that is to be used for fire protection. And if we don't need $500,000 before
Right.
June of next year, we need to make sure somehow that is protected.
For the fire. Yes.
Okay,
So it can't be used nowhere else, can't be dipped into for reserves or nothing like that.
Exactly.
And it may be that we get this grant and we've got a surplus coming in or something, and we might be able to roll back next year, and,
So-
But there's just too much.
Grant, not looking at the grant.
You could also restrict the cash account by, y'all could do a resolution or whatever to restrict the fire department cash account that's only to be used, and when the money comes in, you put it to that restricted cash. And then the only thing that can come out of that is fire related. At the end of the year, you'll see what cash balances remain, that's what you didn't spend.
And I think the citizens would appreciate that, because from what I'm hearing out here, and you know how everybody talks and gossip is, well, I just get on Facebook. I mean, you see it, people talking about, oh, they blowing money here, blowing money there, blowing money there. Really, y'all are not. I know what's going on with the money. It's stuff we got to have. But I think it would ease the citizens' minds knowing that, okay, this extra is going into this account and cannot be used for nothing else, you know?
Most of
Go ahead.
what they say that we're blowing money on, they just simply don't ask enough questions.
Exactly. They don't come to
Because
the
it's,
meetings.
it's things that were obligated in the 2019 SPLOST or something
Correct.
like that we need to use up because we're already collecting a 25 SPLOST. And it looks bad, in my opinion,
You're correct.
to have these funds sitting there waiting when you're already collecting a new one.
You're correct.
We've been working on spending them as efficiently as we can.
That's right.
I mean, we bought things that have been well needed for the county, and just like people say about the pole barn now, that's gonna be well needed. You know?
Oh, yeah, it's been well needed.
Well, I mean, part of the situation is, for the last 20 years, roughly, give or take 5 or 10 years, the citizens of this county have been paying taxes, and taxes,
Yep.
and taxes, and taxes, and not seeing anything in return for the money that they're putting in.
Right.
Well, now, true enough, they don't see payroll. They don't see, that you have to match the payroll.
State
Or,
mandated
you have to
stuff.
match the Social Security and the Medicare. They don't see all this other stuff that the county has to do. And they don't, and now they're actually seeing a little progress, and they're considering it wasteful spending. When, if you had a $200,000 piece of equipment that is seasonal, wouldn't you build a shelter to cover it so it wouldn't get damaged maybe in a hurricane or a tornado or just the sun in general?
You wouldn't be replacing an entire dash through warranty because
Right,
the sun
because
needs
it's
it.
dry
And
rot.
see, another thing I wanna add to that is, another thing I wanna add to that right quick is, on the fire side, is what the big picture is here is, I'm not gonna stop just because we get a full-time crew and work more. My plan is to go out and build substations throughout,
Yep.
get ISO in, and it's gonna drop everybody's ISO rating, and that's gonna save them a pile of money on homeowners insurance.
Right, and
That's the
also what
long
you're
term.
already working on, which maybe the county has missed at some of the meetings that we've had, anyway, it was missed, is that you are the Telfair County Fire Coordinator.
That's right.
You're not just the Workmore Firehouse
That's
Fire
right.
Coordinator.
I am for the whole
You are
county.
for the entire county. You're, helping Jacksonville, you're
Lumber
helping
City.
Lumber City, you're helping Horse Creek, Milan, Rockwell, even Telfair, even McRae, if
That's
they
right.
need it, and Scotland. If they need it, that's what you're here for.
That's right, and I've met with all of them already. A lot of people don't realize that. And they've told me some of their problems they have in Lumber City with trucks. I've got trucks done, promised to them
In
to
the
be
making.
replaced, yes, at no cost.
Ms. Bradshaw, did she talk,
Yeah.
or is she typing?
She typed it, but if I understand, she asked how it would affect the county again if we kept the rate the same, the millage rate the same. So I'll reiterate, that was $43,668 decrease in taxes from prior year.
Do what?
If we
No.
decrease.
If we kept it the same,
No,
at
we
14.493.
No, you said a while ago
If
it
we
was
roll back.
248,645 if we kept the same increase.
So
No,
this
the
is the rollback.
15.35, I'm sorry, if we go with the rollback, you're correct. If I go with the rollback, then it's 14.493, which would be a minus 43,668.
And if we stay the
If we
same.
kept it the same
At 15.35.
at both, that was the
At both, what are you talking about, at both?
246,645 at 15.35. Is that what it was, 15.35?
248.
15.35.
Yeah.
248,645.
246, I must not have had my glasses on. 246,645,
That's
Increase,
yes.
increase if we keep it at 15.35. If we decrease it to 14.493, it will be a decrease of 43,668.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
Did you hear all that?
And one thing we do need to note on that, we do have a balanced budget for 2026. So, you know, in that respect, that we have a balanced budget, and I just want to lay this on the table. By having a balanced budget, the rollback would hopefully keep the same, you said $46,000 decrease. So I thought the first time it was 23,000. We had about a $23,000 surplus in the budget. So that would cut our budget a little bit on the deficit side if we roll it back. But right now, with this $200,000 increase you're talking about, that will put our budget that we did effective July the 1st will be surplus by that $248,000. The only reason we would need that $248,000 is to replace the insurance premium tax of $490,000 plus the fire department. So you talked about a specific account. The insurance premium tax has specific uses that we couldn't use it for before because we did not have a fire department. By having a fire department, the insurance premium tax is primarily for use of the unincorporated, can only be used in unincorporated fire protection. That is the specifics of the insurance premium tax.
Yes.
So what Mike said to do with that is to take it out of the general budget, put it back where it belongs, and then just surplus that with a little bit more on the unincorporated millage rate. That's would be what Ms. Janet was talking about, how we could make sure that the money stays in a specific account. It stays in the account that the insurance premium tax should be in.
Well, it goes into the general fund. We would have to move it or have it,
Separate cash account.
right,
Okay.
because if you
Well,
leave
we
it in
would
the general
definitely need to do
fund,
that,
that's
yes.
what we were saying. We gotta make sure that it doesn't get touched for anything else.
Good,
But
okay. then.
before, it was being used for the road department because that is the only entity in the county that we have that only affects the unincorporated areas.
Correct.
Because the road department is not going into the municipalities.
Right,
We use
okay.
it for solid waste,
But the fire,
collection,
Yep.
roads and bridges, and EMS, all for unincorporated. That's what we
Right.
used it for.
well, EMS wouldn't only be for unincorporated.
Right.
But the insurance premium tax use,
Right,
those
Okay.
were the three areas that we
Okay.
spent on.
I just like what, as Mr. Cravey said, we put this in that special tax category, that special account, that this can only be used for fire.
It was like Chris said, you just make a resolution that these funds in this account are only to be used for fire services, fire equipment, things like that.
And we can do that in a general meeting, I'm assuming.
And I
Chris, you're-
personally, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I personally don't think we'll have much of a surplus in there, because if we have some extra, we'll just build another substation fire department and keep expanding until we're topped out. Then we'll back down off of to exactly what we need. Cause we're gonna be building for years, you know, to get everything up to where it needs to be, install wells in dead spots, or come up with an IGA with a big farmer with an irrigation well, or whatever. We got to build us a whole network of what we're gonna use. Whether we revert back to some of the dry hydrants and clean those out and service them the way they need to be. There's a whole lot of stuff that we've gotta get accomplished before I think we'll have a surplus in there.
And the public needs to understand that to offset these taxes, especially in the unincorporated, it should, by doing this, decrease their homeowners insurance
Correct.
when their ISO number ratings come down as well.
Correct.
So,
Might not be instant.
yeah, it's gonna be,
Take a little
it's
while.
gonna be time frame.
Chris,
But, okay,
in-
I like what you said.
inquiring minds wanna know. I've had several of my constituents ask, what is the amount of the unpaid property tax in Telfair County? Do you have that in your computer? Do you have
I can
access?
pull it up.
Okay. That would be a number that would be very interesting to know throughout the county.
While you're looking for that, the maps, I never were able to get them out to you, but the maps are in the chairman's office now for
Recording in
those
progress.
substation
Okay.
So,
And while you're looking, I don't know if it'll tell you or not, or age progression, how
I can tell
old
you,
is the
yeah, I can tell you by year.
oldest unpaid?
I can tell you by year,
Okay,
by tax year. If I remember right, the 2023 was actually higher than the 24 for some reason.
That's good, somebody paid something.
That's when they did that huge countywide reassessment too.
All right, pull it up now. All right, in total, now this, the way it's laid out here, this is both the school and the county. And I can tell you before I say that you are approximately 52% of this number. So the total to be collected right now, or as of June 30th, 25, is 2.3 million.
okay, so if these people had paid their taxes, we wouldn't have had to get a TAN note or
Mhm.
any of that, basically,
Right.
alright? Okay, so how far back does that go of unpaid? What is the oldest
2000
unpaid?
2009, you have $2,289 owed.
2,000, one more time.
2,289.91.
80. And that's from 2009.
Correct.
That's all that was owed in 2009.
Still owed.
Still
Still
owed.
over now.
Alright, and okay, go ahead. Alright,
So, alright, I'll list 24, 23, and 22. Maybe that'll be
Okay,
easier.
all right.
24, you have $898,500.
okay,
23, you have $1,049,254.
049,
1049254.
okay,
And then 2022, you have 171,326. From there on, it's 68, 46, 51,000, 22,000, 10, 8, 7, 10, 6, 9, 3, 4, 2.
alright, can you email all that to me?
Certainly.
That would be wonderful.
Courtesy copy me if you would.
And you said that out of the total amount, I'm sorry.
Of the total amount, yeah, those figures, about 52% belongs to the county.
So
Because the
around,
tax commissioner collects for both the school and the
so a little
county.
over $1 million is owed to us.
Correct.
We just took $1 million five TAN.
In fact, I have it
Then
one
do it
million
for a
two
while.
hundred and 39,000 in total for the county, based on that percentage.
And we gotta understand though, that we have inherited what all the other
Exactly.
Right,
leaders
That's
right.
have done.
Oh, yeah, it goes
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way back to 2009.
But it's time for everybody to start paying their taxes,
Yeah, I
sounds like
mean-
me.
2009 to 2025, I'm sorry, that needs to be done something with. I don't know if it's one person or 15 people, I don't know. But that needs to be done something with. That is way too long to be owing a bill and, I mean,
But you can only collect back 7 years, right? So that's already out.
Unless you've attached a FIFA or something to it, I think you can go farther. But you have to have that set before.
but in all fairness, I mean, okay, I'm gonna be on the other side of the fence for a minute. In all fairness, just because it's not paid, doesn't mean that it's not being pursued at this moment.
Right.
correct.
I mean, there could already be something to
Yeah.
be sold on the courthouse steps, or,
Now, yeah, granted that, like those numbers I spit out, the top 3 years, well, even the top 2, once it drops to the third year back, it's 171, and then it drops down 68, 46, 51. So
how long,
a lot of it ends up being collected, you just don't collect it in the year when it's due.
okay, so how long can it be uncollectible before it's put on the courthouse yard? 1 year, 2 year? How long does the tax commissioner have, or how long does an individual have before they get a notice saying your taxes are in arrear, we're fixing to sell unless you pay this bill?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, those are the kind of questions.
I know that in doing her office, she sent out all the delinquent letters. I think she uses Appalachian something or other.
Okay.
but as far as the process of when you can foreclose on it or whatnot, you know, and sell it for the tax sale, I don't know what that time period is.
Okay, so, hold on, let me get it. It says of the tax digest, there are still some, Amarcord properties with uncollected taxes that are still on the tax digest. We have to take that into consideration.
That would probably be like the residential lots out there.
Mhm.
'Cause
And
they're
that's the
all,
older years, I thought at this point it's off the digest, isn't it? It's still not?
all that stuff out there has just been cleared by the lawyer that she can sell it, do whatever she wants to do with it.
Okay.
Because we thought it was tied up, he thought it was tied up, but that's not part of any of the Brownsfield stuff.
Right.
It was separated, and I think he cleared that last time we meeting. I mean, I'm sure there's a process, because you could basically sell it for taxes owed, or
And
whatever you can get. Some of them aren't real desirable, some of them you could build a home on, and some of them you'd have to do a lot of work to it to make it something. They're kinda scattered all around Lumber City.
So, just to, if I might, Mr. Chairman, to kind of bring this to conclusion, is it going to be, can I make a motion then that we don't roll back the millage rate and we add 1.25 mills to the unincorporated only?
Alright, I do wanna make one, just say one more thing. If we do not do the rollback, the floss is out the window. To do the floss, we would have to do the rollback, alright? And keep in mind, floss would be paid by everybody, regardless whether you're a citizen of Telfair County or not. If you buy something here in McRae, they would pay for it. And that helps to supplement
But
for the homestead.
Me personally, I just don't think we're ready to cross that bridge yet. I think we need to go a year like we're talking about, see how this works, and if we can try to do that next digest, or next, time we set the millage, I'm all for it, but I'm scared to jump into the floss and all of this at the same time.
I concur.
I mean, it's just,
and the
it's
floss
a,
may not pass, right?
right,
I mean,
it's a voter referendum,
Right,
so
right.
it's a lot to think about. But I would ultimately like for us to roll it back and go with the floss, cause I do like the fairness of it.
Right.
But I
Because,
believe,
technically, sales tax is the only essentially fair tax.
but I think also I concur with Michael, and I ain't got a vote in this, but, I'm doing the fire stuff, but I believe that would give us the chance to show the citizens what we can do with the fire stuff. And then if we needed to next year, whatever, when y'all come back to this situation you're at, I think they would have a better understanding to vote yes for that.
But did you ever give us the number that, excluding Scotland, Lumber City, and the city of McRae, because they pay city taxes? Did you ever give us a number for all the other people in the county, or you just did straight unincorporated?
I just did straight unincorporated,
Do you think that we?
which excludes them.
Right.
I mean, if they're in the city limits.
It also excludes Milan, and it also excludes, Jacksonville. And, I mean, and if everybody's like, well, they have a fire station. Well, so does Horse Creek. And Horse Creek, so that means
Yeah,
that
but
they
they're
have
not.
the fire station.
Incorporated.
I understand that, but Jacksonville's in, I don't see the difference between Jacksonville and Horse Creek. Neither one of them are paying city taxes, so they're not paying any extra, they're just paying unincorporated millage rate.
So,
And if you say, well, they have a fire station, well, Horse Creek has a fire station. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, my thing about it is be fair with all of it.
But-
I'm totally 100% against raising taxes from the get-go at all,
okay.
alright? But my thing about it is, if you're gonna raise the taxes, you need to raise the taxes fairly.
Well, they would be raised fairly, because once you get those stations in those cities that don't have taxes, and we put them under the Telfair Fire Association, then our roster can go to any one of their stations and respond, am I right?
That's correct, if they
Come into the
if they
association.
decide to come on with that, they got their own mayor and council, they could say no.
But we still can't levy taxes on the cities at all. we would have to put them all into a special tax district. Basically,
Right.
anything outside of McRae, Lemon City, and Scotland will be a special tax district.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, do a special tax district. I mean, DOR has already said that we could do that. When I talked to the man over at Olivia's office, I mean, they said that we could do that. But my thing about it is, if you're going to do the fire tax, then you need to do it fairly.
Ms. Bradshaw says, we need to find out how much is delinquent, and delinquency is coming from those AmeriCorps properties. And then she says, I also think we need to consider other projects as well. We do not want to limit an increase in taxes just to be beneficial to fire services, but other projects as well in the county.
Because the increase would only be for the fire services. So the millage rate increase, or the not doing the rollback, is just to fulfill that $411,000 void. Because the general fund should be replaced by everybody in the county. But the people that are gonna be receiving fire services, if we were to do a special tax district, it may not be a 1.25, it might be a 0.85 if you added the rest of those in. I mean,
I mean, it may not, I don't know.
So we're not doing the rollback at all.
Well,
Okay.
we haven't voted,
Oh,
we
okay.
hadn't had any motions, we're just talking at this point.
Gotcha.
So you're
but-
suggesting, I just wanna make sure I'm clear, is do the to be fair, you're saying do the unincorporated plus any incorporated area that does not have a city tax?
Exactly.
Right, okay.
I think the only way we can do this is we do designate fire districts to where that a city has a fire district, and then Jacksonville and Milan would be a fire district. But I think as we talk to that gentleman from the tax commissioner's office, that's gonna take some time, because you got to be able to delineate what a fire district is based upon where a fire station's at.
when I asked him about that, I was talking about making different millage rates for each fire district. So say Workmore would be a higher rate than one way out there on 341 in between, out by towns. So this one at Workmore might be 1.25, and this one out here in towns might be 0.75. That's what I was talking about, because other counties do that. As far as a fire district tax, they have multiple of them.
I
We
mean-
would just be having one that includes Jacksonville, Milan, and I'm missing one.
Now, that sounds too.
Plus the unincorporated.
Yeah, the unincorporated Jacksonville, Milan, and that's it.
But also, I mean, other counties, what they do is they take your house. If you have a 3,000 square foot house, you pay so much per square foot. If you don't have anything on your property except a pole barn, then you pay a certain amount. I mean, that would take a lot longer to
That's
figure out
too
in
much to
Telfair
delineate.
County.
Yeah.
And also, then you have a lot of properties on the river down there that technically the tax assessor doesn't even know what's on those properties because the gate's locked and they can't get in. And we haven't drone flown it, and they obviously can't look on Google Earth and say, oh, look, there's a big old building on that property. But anyway, there that is. But that's, you know, how other counties do it.
So you're saying basically, to go back to what you first said, the only way to be fair is to include Jacksonville and Milan in this tax district.
By not rolling back, you are basically increasing their taxes by 5%. What's the total increase? 5.63% like that by not rolling back to every citizen in Telfair County. So citizens in Jacksonville and Milan will have a tax increase simply because of the fact we're not rolling the rate back.
And
Yeah.
I living in the unincorporated, will have a tax increase, and the fire station at Workmore will not benefit me at all, because other than Mike, who lives almost, spitting distance in the city limits, other than Mike, I'm the furthest from a fire station, so that's my thing, you have to do it fairly.
I see what you're saying, but it still doesn't sound fair.
I know it doesn't sound fair,
Because those people do have fire stations, they're just not manned all day.
but so does Horse Creek,
I'm including.
and so is
I'm including them.
Rockwell,
I'm including all of them in that. They have fire stations, but they're not manned all day.
right.
So,
I mean, the only manned
That's
all-day
what-
station we have in the county, even though they might pay city taxes, is McRae Helena. They are manned 24/7, 365. I mean, they are manned all the time. All the other fire stations in the county, even those who pay city taxes, Scotland and Lumber City, are not manned 24/7.
So,
At
Chris,
all.
could you tell us if we added, I don't know how you can do this or not, if we added Jacksonville and Milan to it, to the 1.25, how much revenue would those two bring in?
Yeah, I'd have to get their digest. I don't have it.
And again, that's gonna be mayor and city council to do that.
Not if we put them in a special tax district.
Let me see if I've got an old one, which would probably.
But there again, if we just collect the unpaid property taxes, we wouldn't even be discussing this. We could do the rollback and the whole shoot and caboodle and still pay for the fire department if we collect the unpaid property taxes.
That's correct.
And then there's also that other thing, you know, where they passed in July, where the school boards don't have to maintain a 14 mil rate anymore. They can
Right.
maintain a 10 mil rate and still receive all state funding and federal funding. They passed that in July,
Yeah, I remember.
but they're not gonna, I don't see them going down on their
Yeah,
millage rate.
maybe we'll go talk to the school, maybe people went and talk to the school district.
It'd be nice for the
Yeah.
public to talk to the school
That's what I'm
district, go
saying.
to
Yeah.
the meetings and say, hey, you don't have to maintain this no more to receive your same money, you can back down a little bit and come off of your $19 million reserves.
But nobody ever complains about the school taxes. They
Oh,
just
no.
complain about,
But
you
the
know,
only
the millage
people that
rate that we
complain about
set.
the school taxes are the older generation that don't have nobody in school, ain't never had nobody in school, and they're like, why I gotta pay school taxes? And,
Well, I mean, I agree with that 100%.
I do too.
If you don't have a dog in the fight, you ain't betting on the game.
cause I think we have an exemption for seniors, but you have to be a certain age.
And
to
you
get
only
that
can
exemption.
make like $5,000 or
Right.
$6,000 a
Right.
year.
There's income
And if
restrictions.
anybody
and
has
everything.
ever worked in their entire life at anything, hopefully their Medicare that they draw when they get to be a senior is more than $5,000 or $6,000 a year. So basically, it's a tax exemption that is a waste of time
Well,
because very few people qualify for it.
but there are people that do that don't know about it because I have personally talked
Yeah.
to some
Mhm.
and they have went over there, regretfully too late to apply for this year. But that's an educational process I think that we need to be given to the people. They really need to understand what their taxes are. But again, we could chase this rabbit around the hole all day long. But again, I'll kind of reiterate my motion that we go with not rolling the millage rate back and adding 1.25 mills.
Make it in two different motions. Make millage rate and then fire
Okay.
tax, make it
All
in
right.
two different
So
motions.
I make a motion that we do not roll the millage rate back.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Who seconded it? I did.
Doug made the motion, Mike seconded it.
And I would be scared right this second, at this very time, to make the motion on the 1.25 until we know what adding Jacksonville and Milan to it would be.
I pulled up the 2024 digest amount.
Cause we may be able to go back.
It's a huge spreadsheet, so
Ms.
I'm gonna try
Bradshaw
to get to
said
it in
aye.
just a minute.
Ms. Bradshaw said aye. She can't vote by phone.
It was a nice. job.
Okay, so, and I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate that, but do we really want to go into the dogma right now of trying to get a special fire district created in time to do the advertising? The reason we had to have this special meeting today is because we have to start the process.
All right, somebody's beeping, is it your video? Okay.
So, do we really want to go into that, trying to, and I hate to pay it like this, but the confrontation with Milan and Jacksonville, when you tell them that we're gonna create a fire district just so that we can put their cities on the taxes, as a way of going around getting the mayor and the cities to incorporate a city tax?
Well, I don't wanna speak for Milan because they did have plans to start a city tax. But from the complications that I heard, Dodge County didn't want to help them collect it, and I don't think we can collect it for them. The way our systems are set up is different from what they use. So they were having to look at avenues to try and collect the taxes themselves, like to a third-party company, is what I was told. So I don't think they're gonna implement a city tax even though they want to, just because the feasibility of having to hire somebody to collect it.
They'd be spending more money than
They'd
they
be
were
spending
actually
money.
collecting in taxes to.
They do need it.
Recording in progress.
They need to help their city infrastructure and all, but I know that Dodge County said they wouldn't be able to do it for them. And I agree with Doug that I don't know if we have time to make the special tax district by the time of advertisement.
So in that case, there's two things that we can work on diligently for next year that we can take in consideration as part of the budget process that we start in February. One is the floss. What do we need to do to get a floss in place to where we can roll back next year? And two, fire districts, and hopefully by then we'll have, our fire coordinator will have those maps, and he can already go out and have staked off where he's gonna put the volunteer fire stations, and he'll have the volunteers to man them. So we'll be able to do the floss and the fire districts, and possibly even chop up the unincorporated with different millage rates based upon
If we need
what
to,
else. Yeah.
we may not need to.
Milan in '24 had a total assessed value of $5,209,000, and Jacksonville had $2,875,000. Those together times the 1.25 rate is $10,479.
So
So you're not talking about much.
it's not much to even add on.
In other words, what it really is, and I hate even saying this, but would $10,000 be worth the dogfight with Milan and Jacksonville to get the people involved? Because I'm gonna tell you, I think you start trying to collaborate, coordinate, indice a city to pay taxes.
I like the idea better of them coming under the fire association and any of our volunteers throughout the county being able to jump in and help at any time.
And I believe we could do that with them too.
I think
I'm
they
not
will.
100% on that, but I believe we could, make something work with them. I believe that. I'm not gonna say right now, I mean, anything other than, I believe I could work something out with Jacksonville and Milan.
And there's another way we can do it. How much we giving each one of those cities per year for fire protection? $13,000?
Well, in the last budget, you really, 13,000 for those. We did, Lumber City did not sign an IDGA, so we did not give them any money.
Okay.
All right, let's see, you had to take into consideration, we gave Milan 13, or did they back it down to 10?
They were
They
going
said-
to back it down if they needed to.
Okay.
You know, they only asked for 6, and
Right,
they said,
but see, also, what I look at with Milan is that we paid them 13, and they're functioning 2 stations.
right,
For-
that's
for-
why we justified that.
For the 13.
Yeah.
All right, so Jacksonville got 13, McCray got 100, but you can't, cause it wasn't considered in the budget
Right.
because it come out of the ARPA.
Right.
However,
Correct.
the 76 was figured in the budget,
Correct.
okay? So that won't be there next year for
Well,
that, the 76 won't be
It'll be
there.
kind of moved over to his,
Right.
his salary and all. Cause that's how we justified getting him on board so
Right, but
quickly.
it won't be there for
Not for McCray.
McCray.
If I'm wrong, if I look at the approved budget, here is the operating budget for 25-26. Fire administration was only $72,000, and I think that was the 6 times 13 that we came up with that just never got. Anyway, it's $72,000 here. But if it's only $10,000 that we're gonna gain from Milan and Milan and Jacksonville, if we needed to, if they're not willing to do a tax for the fire, take it out of their fire budget.
Well, if we're gonna have the county fire departments anyway, you wouldn't have to go necessarily give the cities as much as you did this year.
It would
Because
be
we
more
have our
for
own.
for an IGA, it would be more for mutual aid then.
Right.
Right.
And if we did supplement them, it would be to cover their area, their 5-mile area, which would be much less than 13,000, cause now they have to cover a big area,
Correct.
when available.
So just alternate ways to derive the same taxes from the cities without having to really, at this particular time,
I think we're stuck with the
Postpone.
unincorporated right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, in that respect, if I may, I'll make a motion that we apply 1.25 mils to the unincorporated only, which will make the unincorporated millage rate be 16.6.
16.6.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
You're at a tie.
Cause the kid can't vote by phone.
Oh, okay. Then at this point, I'd say, what's the
My,
alternative?
my biggest thing would be to, for this year, because we're, like you said, we're not gonna be up to 100% functioning. So we don't need the 500,000 budget that you've said from, because we're not gonna have the employees
Correct.
just yet. We're not gonna have the equipment just yet. We're not gonna be burning the air conditioner out there and the lights like you would if it was a fully 100% functioning house. I do not agree with the 1.25.
But we've still got to replace the 411,000, and that's part of it.
I do know that. And the thing about it, whenever I did the figures a while ago, we only needed $160-something thousand wherever I wrote it down at. And part of that could come from if we ever got the legal paperwork done to charge the landfill a lease for using the land. That would make up for the $160-something thousand.
I agree.
And
So you're saying that there's an optional way to keep from having to
Just
raise any
flip-flop.
millage rate
2
other than
cents.
just roll back?
the landfills used on the landfill last year, from June of 24 to June of 25, all right, was $586,765.66.
What is that?
That's the
what they
landfill,
made.
that's what the landfill took in, cash, the landfill, all right? The trash service took in $398,871.42,
Okay.
okay? Added together, which I didn't do, hold on, I'll add those together. That gives a total of $985,637.08. If we took a percentage of that, and I'm just playing with numbers here, and I took 20% of both of those, just because, we do own the land
Okay.
out there, alright? If we took 20% of that, that would be $197,127.42. Alright, and that's just based on the last year.
So,
And when we open the new sale, those numbers are gonna double. That's why I said we'd take a percentage instead of a $2 a ton versus take a percentage of the amount.
I really got a legal question, but I ain't no sense in asking.
Well, see,
Can they
and-
say no?
Well, see, that's the thing, I'm currently looking into paperwork, and then as soon as I find all the resolutions and everything that go to the landfill, Ron says, yes, we can.
I don't think they can say no because they don't have a board. We are their board.
We are their board. Ron says that we can. I'm currently gathering all the paperwork to get to Ron so that he can start the process on this.
That's what
All right.
the old minutes and stuff are out for?
Yes, and that's what all my posted on the big ledgers, and please don't remove my
I ain't
post-its,
touching it.
all right? Because I've got my post-its marking stuff so I can make copies as soon as I get this big old book finagled onto the copier, all right? But that would be, 20% of that would be the 197, which would make up the difference more so and have around 30,000 left over above what we needed to replace the 411.
Okay.
Ms.
I'll say that.
Bradshaw been saying that.
Right, that's what we've been talking about.
Okay.
And that's something that needs, go ahead, Ms. Nancy.
So not to throw a wrench in this lovely discussion, nobody's even thought about post-closure costs.
Oh yeah, I've thought about that too.
That's gonna be, what, several
Well,
million?
Technically, they should have been setting money aside for that
Well,
the whole time.
They were supposed to be.
that's non-existent, so we have to think about that.
That was supposed to have been done. It's in the minute of the meetings,
It's supposed to
back
have
whenever
a-
they were all handwritten minutes
a
and
reserve or
typed and that
something
sort of
for it.
thing. All that was, they were supposed to be setting money aside for, I don't know what, the last 15 years, plus,
Probably
plus or
more
minus.
than
More than,
Uh,
more than I've been here.
and needless to say, that has not been done.
And it was like the federal government using social security money, but I'm concerned right there.
You record the liability based on the inflationary factor and all that each year, but the liability is unfunded. I mean,
And
the
there-
liability's on the books, but it's not funded.
And there's also an untapped resource out there at the landfill that we do not have any record of sales over the last year, and that would be the scrap iron. All right? If we took a percentage of the scrap iron as well, that number would increase.
Okay, and I have no problem with everything you're saying as long as USDA or EPA or EPD or whoever it is that's gonna come in here and tell us we gotta have now to build this new sale or to start this new enterprise or whatever it is we're doing, that we gotta have $20 billion.
Well,
See, we already cut that in half from the original sale design. You remember we met
Right.
with Hofstadter? He cut it back from a full-size sale to adding on to the front of it and getting us by for X amount of years for half the cost. So
right.
instead of coming up with $8 or $9 million, we only gotta come up with 3 or 4.
But we gotta come up with it regardless,
Well-
and.
Well, that's why,
That's what
that's
Rome's for.
part of the,
They should have it in their budget.
No, they don't have to. Not at
it
all.
went out of my head.
Last
That's
time they
part of
did
the
it was
25
the USDA
splosh, we
loan.
got to the purchase of the property, and if we have any excess coming from that first amount that we get, then that could go for the closure of, I mean, the either the closure of the sales or the opening of the new sales.
Okay, but if we're taking the money that the enterprise per se is accumulating, which is the $1 million a year, and we're taking that and we're putting it in the general budget,
No, we're not taking that,
but 20%.
20%, that still leaves them 80% to function,
Which is plenty.
which is way more,
Yeah, they
way
got
more
a
than
lot.
plenty, for them to actually function out there.
Well, like you said, for the
but
last
they're not-
15 years, they're supposed to be accumulating money in a sinking fund somewhere.
No, the Board of Commissioners were supposed to be saving money.
Well,
it eventually
somebody's
comes
supposed
with
to be
this.
Somebody was, but nobody is.
Is this something new that you're passing on to the landfill? Cause I mean, they don't have that much cash.
This is for the last year, the cash that they've spent. Well, part of the money that they went was purchasing last December, this $285,000 dump, trash truck that, just got wrecked last week and is like, we don't know how much is it worth nothing now or is it worth fixing? I mean, that's the boat we're in right now, is, $285,000. So
I just-
that's part of it, but per what was reported at the meetings, I'm going by what Andy reported at the meetings
Mm-hmm.
as his intake. Now, what you're showing on the books, I don't know, but I'm going by what he reported at the
I was about to
monthly
say, I'm
meetings.
done with them through June 30th, if you wanna know anything.
What is the amount of cash they have on hand as of June 30th?
689,000.
July, August, September, is it up or down?
Yeah.
I don't know since June.
Their
It
last report
stops
was
at June
5
30th.
something, I thought.
So how are they spending more than they're taking in?
Well, you gotta look at them too right now, because of this sale being so slow, the new one. Once they get that approved, they can go up 2 more lifts, so they can ramp up taking in the trash. Right now, they're taking in bare minimum.
Yeah,
You are right about the million. They have 265,000 in payroll, plus 68 in benefits.
265,000 for a year?
Mhm.
Okay, you scared me for a minute, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Hey,
this is
look
for the
at
whole
that
year.
much.
Benefits, 68,000.
Be surprised.
Professional services, 28. Repairs, 74. Other supplies, 15. 78,000 in gas and bottled gas.
These are annual figures as of June.
mm-hmm,
Post-closure cost, which I said, you remember I said they were recording the liability. So it's non-cash, but it's an $86,000 expense. 392,000 is depreciation, which is a non-cash expense.
How much is in that account that you just said that 86,000 liability that he didn't spend? How much is actually in that account? How much are they supposed to have set aside somewhere?
They just have total 689 cash. I mean, it's not restricted or anything.
There is no account for post-closure.
Right. The post-closure liability as of June 30th is, That pension closure, $3,699,000.
Okay, so in a post-closing liability account is credited somewhere $3 million, but we don't have it.
Right.
But it should be there.
Mhm.
I mean.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
You wanna bring it down?
Okay, so-
And so the costs that are associated, in essence, when you start spending it, reduces this liability as you're closing. So you're supposed to, it would be nice to, you accrue, you know what the post-closure cost is deemed to be when you open it. Then you have an inflationary factor that you keep increasing the liability on the books. If you're saving the cash, that'd be great, so when closure happens, you got the money to close.
Okay, so I would say that, I mean, surprise, surprise with what you just brought up with this on the landfill. But I would say that would definitely warrant a very, very, very detailed analysis, what it looks like you're doing on that big chart you're talking about, to determine whether or not it would behoove the county to try to take money from the landfill that ultimately we're gonna have to either borrow or put back in the landfill anyway. I mean, it's not like it's,
Well, I just wanna say this. Landfills and trash are a very, very, very lucrative business if run correctly.
okay,
I wanna take you one day, and I wanna take Andy, I wanna take everybody up to Houston County Landfill one day, just for 10 minutes, and see how they operate. Cause I guarantee you, there's over 200 trucks a day come in there, and they make money every single time it goes across.
Landfill's cash from 24 to 25 year end went from 608 to 690.
But you also have to understand that Houston County has that base money.
Well, no, this is separate. This
Yeah,
is
no,
a-
but they had the base money from the get-go to help get them off the
Yeah,
ground.
but,
Okay.
but landfills,
okay.
especially Houston
Does
County,
the
it
county own
takes track.
does the county own the landfill?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they own the land that it's sitting on?
When you write a check to Houston County Landfill, you write it to Houston County Board of Commissioners, not Houston County Landfill.
So, okay, well, we come up to a tie on that last motion, it did not pass. Where are we at on the agenda? What do we need to finish up then?
We need to
Let me
figure
get
out.
back to the agenda, hold on.
Say again?
We need
We
what?
need to figure out a millage rate.
1535?
Yeah, they have to
We-
stay
yeah,
fifteen
we-
three.
We did
They
a
not
motion to, stay at 1535.
So your first motion was to implement a no rollback, and that was.
That was correct.
Yeah, and that would make it stay at
The
15.
1.25 is a tie, so
It was a
it's
tie,
dead.
so it's
It
dead.
died.
So what do you wanna do?
To just
No,
stop
no,
it right now.
Ain't nothing you can do. It's tied and there's nobody to break the tie.
We're gonna try to pursue these other avenues that Chrissy's got, whether if we can get 10%,
I mean, if we
20%,
can,
whatever.
basically, if we can pursue these other avenues, at least for a year,
Right.
just to keep the can down the road a little bit, and then next year, we'll have the station up and running, and we'll know exactly what we've gotta have.
I do agree with that to an extent. I guess we were trying to get ahead of it and kinda show people what they were gonna have to expect in the future.
Here's what I'd like to see, and maybe you got the question answered right here. What was the deficit amount June the 30th, 2025 from the 2024 budget?
On the general fund,
Right. When we set up there to 2023 with $941,000.
And that finance claim.
But
I
what,
ain't got none of that.
was that the most recent that she had on the wall, was that the most recent
That
year?
was like 22, 23 year, I believe.
Yeah, that was
It was a couple years old.
Yeah,
We were sitting there in 25, it wasn't 2024's, it was
Alright.
2023's.
So I don't have this compared to budget. I can pull that up separately.
No, okay.
Ooh. That's gonna look odd, because right now you're sitting there with an $8 million. I got
deficit.
that, no, you got surplus.
Oh, that's because of the hurricane there?
Yeah. From-
Deduct that, yeah, that's not our money, I don't
Yeah,
think.
that's
Alright,
not,
so-
they count that.
That's dedicated. to
But some of
something.
it's happened, right? I mean,
Some of
Well,
it.
some of it's happened.
Like you've got 11 million in expense
Yeah.
in highways and
Some
streets.
of it's been spent.
Would any of the cleanup be posted anywhere other than that 11 million in highways and streets?
No.
Shouldn't.
No, everything's been paid out of that one account.
So 19,175,000 minus was the income side of it.
Mike, hand me a printed agenda up there somewhere.
Fire and then highways and streets.
I just want more.
You got all-
So cut this, pull it down here.
What about next week,
I'm fixing to do
Monday
that.
or Tuesday? Come back again.
So you have a $458,000 net income, basically.
Net income. So we went from $941,000 deficit in FY '23 to a what,
$458,000.
positive?
Right.
But we collected a lot of latent taxes between 23 and 24.
That's fine.
That's
I'm-
huge.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
I
fact,
mean, there's
everything,
various reasons
but-
why it's there,
Right.
but it is there.
that's a $1.3 million difference in 1 year.
Mhm.
I like it. I mean, let's pay it like this, when we were sitting in that finance class, and I sat there and I looked at that lady and I said, listen, that's fantastic, great. You're talking all this stuff from Cobb County and, Glenn County and all these stuff. Tell us something about the small counties, and everybody in the room was like, yeah, tell us. I said, so she pulled up Telfair County and it showed the June the 30th deficit, and I think it was 2023, $941,000 in the hole.
Right.
So you're saying now, June the 30th, 2024,
Mhm.
we have a still positive $452,000, which should be enough money, not enough. That's when we had to get a TAN of 1.5 million. But that
What?
plus the 1.5 will get us to December the 30th. Hopefully, we won't need to use more than $1 million by December the 31st.
See, there was a $300,000 decrease in law enforcement administration from prior year to this year,
Perfect.
1.3 to 1.0.
But that's not probably gonna stay,
Jail went from 1.67 to 1.49,
because he's using
and then you have
those.
some other ones that are smaller.
He
But the
had,
jail's not gonna stay that way because they both in
Right.
female prison, so now we're doubling the
No,
fund,
I
doubling the
understand.
fund at the jail.
And come FY '25, at the end, June the 30th of 26, June the 30th of 26, it may be kind of swung back the other way because we did have $450 positive on June the 30th. But, and that's good news for me though, and I appreciate that.
But we do have department heads who are working to save the county money.
Mhm.
Just this week, the road department, Jamie has saved the county roughly $4,200 a year, just with the acetylene and oxygen tanks.
Yep, I agree.
So
We're doing
that's,
good.
I mean, we have department heads who are actually trying.
Well, hey, don't get me wrong, I am all for just not rolling back the interest, the
This
village
is
rate.
probably gonna blow your mind, but that, what was it, 4,200 a year?
Yeah, we were paying close to $500 a month for acetylene and oxygen tanks for the road department
For 22 years.
for 22 years and not using them.
They get
Because they were
used
sending it
very, very
all
rarely.
out to, places if they wanted, use cutting torch or whatever, they were sending it all out. So now we're going down from $500 a month to $600 a year.
With one phone call.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just,
Well, see,
yeah, the puzzle book. All right,
Yeah.
now back to the agenda.
Can't be.
All right.
We need to set a new meeting.
Right, okay, well, the millage rate, they voted on that, not to do the rollback, so that would stay at 15.35.
Incorporated and unincorporated, right? That was
Yes.
all.
Everybody,
So you have to
everybody.
advertise 3 hearings too. I don't know if
Right.
you have to set that
Yeah.
today or.
Alright, so as everybody saw on the calendar that Miss Nancy printed, she's got next Wednesday, it would come out in the Enterprise as advertised.
But,
No,
wait, she's gotta
No.
change that.
no, not next week.
Or that week after. Hold
This,
on.
this
It
calendar
will-
wasn't,
it-
wasn't
You're,
right.
you're all gonna be gone the week of the 8th through the 10th. I can't advertise for next week.
Okay,
So the first advertisement will go in on the 8th.
okay,
So we will have a.
Oh, I see the down arrow now.
5-year history, and advertising the first and second meetings, and a press release. I'm gonna need a copy with this stuff for the notice.
Mm-hmm.
Is this not changed or changed?
That is changed a little bit, the
All right, so you
unincorporated
send me the new
I will.
notice, okay.
and the 5-year history.
So then, that happens on the 8th. On the 15th, the first meeting we'll hold at 10 a.m. here. The second meeting on this 15th will be 6 p.m. at the courthouse. And then I advertise for the third meeting. The third meeting will be at 6 p.m. on October 22nd. And then on the 23rd, in the morning, we can just adopt the millage resolution and all the rest of the documents that the chair has to execute and I approve.
So it's all just moved down a week, basically,
yes,
Well,
because we're gonna be gone.
yes.
right,
The October 22nd meeting to be at the courthouse too, right?
6 p.m.
Yeah, courthouse though, right?
Have you got a time for the 23rd, or we just gonna execute the documents?
Well,
We've got to vote on it, we at the
yeah,
meeting.
well, you know, I would like to do it in the morning because, you know, if 3 of you can do it, it's just a matter of adopting the millage resolution and executing the digest submitted documents.
Okay, 10 a.m. on the 23rd?
Sounds good to
Here.
me. I don't know who'll be here, I'm sure, I don't know, do you know your schedule yet for that far out in
Not far
October? Okay, so we might make the deadline, but I've asked her to, I've asked the tax commissioner to ask for an extension, because there's no way to get it done by October the 1st.
Brush up on that yellow homework.
I help make them rules.
Alright, do you need a
Really?
motion for all that? Ms. Nixon? Do you need a motion for all that?
Or just to set the next meeting.
Well,
Might
all right,
see
that,
as a dog.
I make a motion, we adopt the calendar that Miss Nancy just spoke about.
okay,
Second.
that's advertising, okay.
That's the advertising and the meeting on the 15th at 10 a.m., the meeting on the 15th at 6 p.m. at the courthouse, and the meeting on the 22nd at 6 p.m. at the courthouse. And the meeting on the 23rd at 10 a.m. here in the conference room.
I got it.
Okay,
And that, who made that motion?
Doug motion, Mike second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you all.
Doug, Doug.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
And Chris, I'll look for your email and.
Your vote didn't count.
Okay, that book was given when we had,
I know you did.
Wayne
Wayland
Phillips.
fella come out, he gave me